seizing of territory by force to be, rewarded or tolerated and so on. But this brings us inevitably to the US.
All of these bits are on the chessboard, and nobody knows really what's going to happen. One feature will be the president's decision as to whether or not
the US president's decision.
The US president's decision, and we await to see what that's going to be, and that will shift the places on the chessboard quite dramatically, irrespective of the way it goes. But it would appear at the moment that he's involved in a deadly game of brinkmanship, using the same skills that he had as a property developer. But this is not, the plan for a condominium in the center of New York. This is the future stability of the world. But we can only wait to see now what decision he comes to. Well, the creation of a new national armaments director, who's going to have much more executive
in the Middle East. So let's just talk about that before we come again to the current war in Ukraine.
The biggest risk is if the president fails to clearly identify the strategic outcome that we want to accomplish. I mean, the United States has not done this, and we didn't do it in Iraq, we didn't do it in Afghanistan. We still have not clearly identified the strategic outcome for Ukraine. And if you don't have a clearly defined objective, it's very difficult to have good policy. So dropping a bunker buster on this Fordo mountain, that's a policy decision, that's not a strategy. And so the president has to explain, he has to know in his own mind, what's going to happen after this? What is the outcome strategically? And I don't think he can answer that yet. And frankly, he's not surrounded by a team that's capable of really thinking in that sort of strategic way. So honestly, I think the president was sincere when he said, I'll know about a second before I decide what I'm going to do. Cities in Israel or in Europe.
BenHodges, you come in on that?
Well, I agree with that assessment. I think